Section 96 of the Companies Act 2013 provides for holding of annual general meeting of the members by companies incorporated in India. This video is a quick introduction of the general exemption of 2 months given by all ROCs all over India. Before we move on to understanding the provisions of extended due dates, let us first understand what is given as the due dates of annual general meetings of member under Section 96 of the Companies Act. The Act exempts one-person companies from holding annual general meetings of its members. Since it has only one member, it is not required to hold a general meeting at all. For the companies who are closing their first financial year, they are required to hold the AGM within 9 months of closure of their first financial year. So, if a company is closing its first financial year on 31st March, it is required to hold its first annual general meeting of the members till 31st December of that particular financial year. For the companies which are having their subsequent AGMs, they are required to hold the AGM within 6 months of closure of that particular financial year. So if a company is closing its financial year on 31st March, but it has its subsequent annual general meeting, which is a meeting other than first general meeting, it is required to be held till 30th September of that particular financial year. Now there's a catch. The law states that the gap between two subsequent annual general meetings of the members should not be more than 15 months. So while holding annual general meetings, we need to be very cautious that the gap between two meetings, that is the gap between the previous annual general meeting and the current annual general meeting, should not exceed 15 months. So mainly in case of subsequent annual general meetings, we need to take care that the AGM is held within 6 months of closure of financial year, plus the gap between the current meeting and the previous meeting should not exceed 15 months. Moving on, let us see what extension has been granted by the respective ROCs for the annual general meeting that is to be held for financial year ended on 31st March 2021. The extension has been provided for 2 months from the due date by which AGM for 31st March 2021 ought to have been held as per Section 96. So the general extension is for 2 months from the due date of the current annual general meeting. Plus, the extension is only for the subsequent annual general meetings. Thus, the companies who have their first annual general meeting for the period ended 31st March 2021 are not provided with any extension. So they cannot extend the date of their first annual general meeting beyond 31st December 2021. Now, before we move on to the examples for the extension of 2 months from the due date, let us understand a very basic concept of the due date of AGM. We have just understood the two conditions for holding subsequent annual general meetings. First is it should be within 6 months from the end of financial year, and the gap between the previous annual general meeting and the current AGM should not exceed 15 months. So our due date of AGM comes out to be the earlier of 6 months from the end of financial year, which is in the current case is 30th September 2021, or 15 months from previous annual general meeting. So whichever is early. So if in the current year our 15th month is before 30th September 2021, the due date will be the end of that 15 month from the previous annual general meeting. So if 15 months from the previous annual general meeting is ending before 30th September, then in such case the due date of AGM will be the end date of the 15th month. I hope the concept is clear till here. Let us move on to some examples to understand the extension granted by the ROC. In our first example, we have taken the date of last held AGM as 25th May 2020. So considering 6 months or 15 months, 6 months from the current financial year ends on 30th September 2021, with the gap of 15 months from 25th May 2020 ends on 25th August 2021. So for current year, the due date of AGM is 25th August 2021. because we cannot exceed the gap between two AGMs from 15 months. So in this case, the extended due date will be 2 months from 25th August 2021, which is 25th October 2021. In the second example, we have taken the date of last AGM as 17 June 2020. Now 6 months from current financial year ends on 30th September 2021. But if we consider the 15 months gap condition, 15 months from 17 June 2020 ends on 17 September 2021. So we should hold our AGM latest by 17 September 2021 for the current financial year as per section 96. But since we have got extension for 2 months, the company can hold its AGM till 17th November 2021. Moving on to the third example, the date of last AGM has been taken as 30th August 2020. Now the 6 months criteria for financial year 2021 would be 30th September 2021. Now if we consider 15 months from 30th August 2020, it would be 30th November 2021. But if we go back to the previous concept that we have learned, the due date has to be earlier of 6 months from the end of financial year or 15 months from previous AGM. So in third example, even though the 15 months ends on 30th November 2021, we are restricted by the condition that the AGM should be held within 6 months from end of financial year. So in third example, the due date of AGM comes out to be 30th September 2021. Accordingly, 2 months extension comes out as 30th November 2021. So the company can hold its AGM for the current financial year till 30th November 2021. Moving on to the fourth example, if we take the date of previous AGM as 30th September 2020, the due date of current AGM would again come out to be 30th September 2021, irrespective of 15 months that ends on 31st December 2021, because we are again restricted by the condition that AGM should be held within 6 months of the closure of financial year. So in this case also, the due date of AGM for the current year will be 30th September 2021 as per section 96, and as per the general extension granted by ROC, the extended due date in this case will be 30th November 2021. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe to my channel for more such videos.